Hello, and welcome to All or Not According to Jack. I have a little bit of a story to tell you, and first of all, for most of this video, we are going to go without a background, and you'll soon understand why. So basically, 2 years ago, at the height of COVID, the company that I work for decided, and we are a computer company, they decided to send us all to work from home. So March of 2020, we were all sent to work from home for our own safety, and who knew we would be home for 2 solid years. Well, today was the first day in 2 years that I actually went back to the office. So about maybe a week ago, I was talking to my boss, my immediate supervisor, and I'm like, you know, here's an idea for a show. Why don't we talk about or maybe do like a show and tell of all the things that have been sitting on my desk or in my desk or above my desk, what have you, for the last 2 years that have basically been untouched and did collect some dust. But I got to tell you, I got to give the cleaning crew credit. They did a good job dusting, because none of this stuff really looks dusty. It's funny, my buddy Ove over in Norway, he's like, how many inches of dust do you think your stuff will have? Well, you know what, Ove, I'm very happy to say that not much. It all looked pretty good, other than one of my bobbleheads where I had to dust off the bill of his baseball cap a little bit. Well, pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're not going to go in order. I'm just going to kind of pull these things out of bags and boxes as we see fit. So we'll start with the bag first. And again, we are not going in any particular order, so we'll start with a toy. Batman. Had this on my desk for several years. I've always been a fan of Batman. Hopefully, man, I hope you don't see too much of a glare, but that's one. That was from the 1966 or 68 series. Here's another. This is from like the 1940 movie serials. I hope you see that. Wonder if maybe that's a little better. There you go. Move the light for you. I just love that fin. Let's go back to this one more time. Yeah, that is. And if you look at the back, maybe less glare. That is what it looks like. Pretty cool. More to show you on Batman in a little while. I got to tell you, my son, I can't believe, when he was younger, maybe he was in his very early teens, or 8 or 9 or 10 or whatever. My wife Susan gave him some money to spend on us for Christmas, and he blew me out of the water with what he bought for me that Christmas. He bought me not one, not two, not three, 4 giant figurines in a set. This is Mr. Michael Strahan. Some of you may know him. He's being a commentator, both on the news and, when he announces football. One of my heroes, good old Michael Strahan. That iconic image of him hugging Eli Manning after they won that first Super Bowl in 2007 together. But he is my man. I did bring another giant home. Plaxico Burress. Another iconic image, although he was in his road whites when he did it, catching that touchdown pass to hand Tom Brady one of his first losses in the Super Bowl. My G-men did it twice. So Never get that image out of my head. Way to go, Mr. Plexico. Just whatever you do, don't carry handguns. All right. So moving right along, I've got some pictures to show you. This is a really iconic image. You can see this. This was when my kids were little. If you look really closely in this corner, you can see the World Trade Center tower still up. This is my family and I when the kids were little at Liberty Island. Beautiful, iconic picture. Love the picture frame. This is the four of us when we went to Nassau, Bahamas in 2007, Christmas of 2007. Yeah. My daughter wearing her AC/DC shirt. Great picture. We're actually at, if you can see this really closely, we're actually at, spent the day in Atlantis. What else? This is a nice one. This is my father, brother, and I at Daytona Speedway. I love this frame. It's the coolest thing. And as you can see, this was before my my beard went all gray on me, or mostly gray. Give you that little triangular configuration there. What do we have in my bag of tricks? This was one of my kids' birthdays. I forget who it was. It might have been Samantha. We were at a Chinese restaurant. It was one of those all-you-can-eat places. They lent us the umbrella, little piece of cake. Beautiful. Love family photos. Here are two family photos on a gatefold. This one was taken at Cooperstown, New York, Baseball Hall of Fame. This one again, Liberty Island. Kids are a little older. This was, I think, February or March, and we got out of our heavy jackets just to get this picture. Of course, we had to get right back in them. This is a picture that I took. Venerable Shea Stadium. Just panoramic, in the days before panoramic pictures on your phone. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. If you look down here, this is actually my father with one of his grandchildren. I forget which one. Where is that? Yeah. Oh, that's actually my daughter and my father. And the guy in yellow is a vendor. Always gets in our way. I think they were playing the Pittsburgh Pirates that day. But definitely a good picture that I took, and some real keepsake. Speaking of the home of the New York Mets, this was given to us. When was this? Oh, you know what? This was actually sent to me, and I'll tell you why. So back in 2009, when Citi Field opened, for anybody that, ticket holders, they sent this picture. So I actually did not go to this game. They lost opening day against the Padres. Luckily, I went to the second game where they won. So I actually saw the very first Mets win at Citi Field. And this is what it looked like back then. Back then it was the Pepsi porch. Now it's the Coca-Cola corner, I believe. Memories. So we're going to pause for a second as I gather more stuff. Hello, I am back. Isn't that a nice thing about All or Not according to Jack? Right now, no monetization, no commercials, just me pausing to get more stuff to show everybody. So let's continue showing everybody some of the crapola that I had on my desk, or will still have, but I brought it home to show you. So a few years back, my wife Susan and I went to Las Vegas for our anniversary, and I bought this. Viva Las Vegas. I did get to pose under the sign. It was the coolest thing. Oh, actually, let's turn it around. That's the side I really wanted to show you. Viva Las Vegas. All right. So I'm going to go in random order with some of these things. So this was something that both my father and my son Jason were out one day. So they thought they'd get me this. Pop, you're perfect. A Three Stooges salute to Dad. So cool. Love this book. Oh, it was a shemp. All right. Where's Curly? Oh, there's Curly. Have to show Curly. There you go. Take care of that. Hot Wheels Batmobile. There will be more Batman to show you. There's Michael Keaton Batman. Okay. I have another one somewhere, but we'll get to them. I'll show you some of my golf balls, having taken up golfing a few years ago. So while we were in Vegas, my wife Susan and I went to the Kiss Mini Golf, and we got the Star Child. That's one. I do have another. Get him out of here. The Spaceman, Ace Frehley. You can bet with my errant swings, I'm never going to use these. So that'll never happen. Okay. While we're at it, so while we were driving down to Florida, we stopped in St. Augustine to go to this store, if you can see that. Yeah. Caddyshack. I'm all right. Nobody's gonna worry about me. At least theirs is a good quality. Top flight. I think that's the same. Was that the same golf ball that Kramer hit, or was it a Titleist? One or the other. Right. What else do we have? For my stocking stuffer one year, somebody got me Monty Python sticky notes. I won't bore you too much, but isn't this cool? That's the foot that comes down and stomps on somebody's head. That's I guess this one is the brain or whatever. The finger pointing at you as God. This is the coolest thing. Monty Python sticky notes. Who would have thought it? Here's something that is very sentimental to me. So when my kids were very little, they would have, and when they were in elementary school, they would have these sales at like Mother's Day, Father's Day. I think the PTA would put them on. And, they have all these nice little tchotchkes to buy for your parents. So my daughter Sam bought me this. This is the coolest thing. It's like a glass, it's like a paper holder. And what it is, it simulates two goldfish in a bag. I love this thing. I will never depart with it. Thank you, Sam. What else? Moving right along. A pet rock. Oh, there you go. A trip to Boston one time. Got a baseball where everybody knows your name. Basically what it was a Cheers gift shop right near Faneuil Hall. It's like a hop, skip, and a jump from Faneuil Hall. That Boston trip was really cool. Can't wait to go back. Oh, let's see, what else do we have? My son Jason went to Fordham University, so I think it's a screen cleaner or wipe or whatever, what have you. Here's another cool little tchotchke. This is something I got at Citi Field. Somebody must have hit a home run. It's the New York Mets apple. It's been there since around 1980. That's when they first, that's when they first introduced the apple. They liked it so much they carried it forward to Citi Field. So it's a home run. It comes up. That was a giveaway at one of the ball games. Speaking of which, Mr. Doc Gooden, another giveaway. Good old Doc. Sponsored by Gold's Horseradish. Interesting. And thanks to Mr. Doc Gooden, I once appeared on television in the Doc Gooden and Doc and Daryl 30 for 30 on ESPN. So if you have ESPN on demand, you can look that up. And I'm there in my Mets gear, rah, rah, rah. The camera in the other hand. All thanks to Doc. What else do we have in here? A couple of years ago, before they sent us all home, they gave us these to go see the eclipse at work. Let us out, go explore, see the eclipse in complete safety, eye safety. All right, what do we have next? My affiliate lodge in Rockville Center. These guys brew some amazing beer. So they call themselves the Relinks Brewery. Awesome stuff. Right. Oh, here he is. Here's 1966 to 1968 Batman. Thank you, citizen. All right. We're going to get to some we're going to call this some Boy Scout related tchotchkes. There's a patch from the National Jamboree, 100 Years of Scouting, back in 2010. It's the coolest thing. What else? This is one of my favorite patches that I earned. Isn't that the coolest? I love it. Order of the Arrow, Indian Village, shaped like a spear. This is another really nice patch from Camp Kiowa, upstate New York, White Lake, not too far from Bethel Woods, which we'll get to that. Another patch, it's a shoulder patch. This is a patch, a commemorative patch when they were celebrating 50 years of Woodstock, nearby Woodstock. And we did buy a Woodstock patch. This was back in 2019. Susan and I went and stayed there for a few days. And I did mention on Steve Keela's show the other night that I was at that, what the heck was it, that museum at Bethel Woods a few times. Really cool. For those of you into rock and roll, old time rock and roll, Led Zeppelin. The four figures of the self-titled Led Zeppelin album, unofficially called Led Zeppelin 4. And then, of course, Dark Side of the Moon with the prism. This is so cool. And of course, I don't know where the heck I got this, but my beloved Oddfellows, patch for them. This was a medal that I earned walking the Freedom Trail in Boston on a Boy Scout trip. We walked 7 miles during the course of the day, which is child's play compared to Susan and I walking 18 miles in day one in the Grand Canyon. This was when we went to Gettysburg. We walked that trail also. That was wonderful. If you love history, that sort of thing is just amazing. All right, this is a little tchotchke that I got when we went to Arizona. The very first stop, I insisted we go there. Tombstone, Arizona, where I shot the sheriff. No, I didn't. But I met the sheriff. It was cool. Okay, a little dice. And I rolled a boxcar. All right, what else? Brought home some sand from Atlantis, the Bahamas. Little dolphin there. Oh, there's 2 other tchotchkes. This was one of those commemorative poker chips, or 50. Yeah, supposedly it's a $50 token. And of course, I got this commemorative coin when Susan and I went to the Hoover Dam. Hot as hell that day, but well worth it. Okay, so some of you may have seen Jamie Laszlo's Let's Get Physical page today on Facebook. So I posted these CDs. Central Kansas, Adrenaline Mob. That's Russell Allen of Symphony X's, one of his other bands that he's a part of. AC/DC, Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap. Another AC/DC. High voltage, rock and roll. And of course, there's Black Country Communion with Glenn Hughes. All right. Last but not least, I got some baseball cards here. First, let's get to some of my heroes. Of course, there's Doc Gooden, Darryl Strawberry, who my son Jason and I met. Super good guy. I wish him nothing but the best. And then, of course, there's Lee Mazzilli, who I actually met many years ago at a bar in Armonk, New York, of all places. Him and Bobby Bonilla were riding through on their motorcycles, and they just stopped, and everybody went and said hello to Lee Mazzilli. Nobody said hello to Bobby Bonilla, but he was a cool guy, very nice guy. This is insane. So I have this coworker. Every year, he puts a Mr. Met on my desk. Don't know his fascination with Mr. Met. But I think I'll show you one more and be done with it. Why, Rob? Why? Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff. All right. Yeah, I think I've showed you 5 freaking more Mr. Met cards, if you can freaking believe that. So let's count these up. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 Mr. Met cards. Who knows? Anybody wants one, let me know. Okay, so this one you can't have. This is my ultimate hero, Mr. Tom Terrific, Tom Seaver. They're finally giving him his due, and they are erecting a statue, I think on April 15th at Citi Field. That's going to be awesome. I definitely want to go there, take a picture with that statue, and give him his just due. All his great years. This guy's another hero of mine. You know, the people have doubted him over the years, but you know what? Eli Manning, they can never take those Super Bowl titles away from him. He gave them to us, and you know what? They can never take them away from him. You got to hold that Vince Lombardi trophy twice, as you saw. Now this guy, not so much of a hero. Tim Tebow. Now people ask me, oh, why don't you like Tim Tebow? Do you have a problem with him kneeling and praying? No, I don't have a problem with him kneeling and praying. I have a problem with the fact that he's a hack. You know, people over promote this guy. And you know what? It's funny. So when he was on the Denver Broncos, they made it to the playoffs, but the guy had no arm. And it's funny, as soon as Peyton Manning became available in the free agent market, they couldn't toss this guy to the curb fast enough. So the Jets picked him up. They ended up using him, you know, in special teams, and he didn't even, the plays didn't even work there. So what did the Mets do? Geniuses that they were. Talking the, not the current over Steve Cohen, the Wilpons. They signed this guy to a minor league contract for what? It's not like he's ever going to be a 300 hitter. Unbelievable. Okay, so that almost wraps it up. I have a couple more things to show you. We're going to go to commercial break again. Come right back. Just hang on. Okay, we're back again with no commercial. Instead, look what I found in my studio / work desk. Honk! Just kidding. That wasn't brought home from the office. But this was New York Mets, National League champions of 2000. Ask Mr. Pete Potter if he has one of these. These were given out opening day of 2001, and they were given to each one of us because the Mets were the National League champions, and fortunately they were done in by those nasty inhabitants of the Bronx across the river. But hopefully we'll get back there soon. So down to the last two items, two favorite items. Now this is something that I always wanted as a kid. I saw other kids have them. I never got one, but I have it now. Look at the size of this Batmobile. Isn't that beautiful? Doors open. Doors, yep, both doors do open. Absolutely beautiful. Back, front, and with a sonic beam, Robin. I believe this Batmobile is about 8 inches long. I actually got this at a local park. There was a car show, and you know, they had some tchotchkes for sale and whatnot. And I actually was there on my bicycle, and luckily I had enough cash to purchase this. But they had a couple others, like they had the Michael Keaton Batmobile, which I would have liked. They had a couple others, but unfortunately, I could only carry one home on my bicycle, so I bought this one, which leaves one more item. And my son Jason, very generous. Both of my children, very generous to a fault. I'm crazy for both of them. But one day, my son was walking the streets of Manhattan on break at work, and they had one of those, those record stands right on the street. You see a lot of street vendors in Manhattan, in the Times Square area. So, what did Jason get me? Jethro Tull, and he didn't even know it was my favorite album. So this adorns my desk. Look at this album. For those of you who don't know, it is a pop-up album. Isn't that the coolest thing? So you have Ian, Martin, Glenn, and Clive with this great, great album, Stand Up. Record is still in here. I will show you the record. Songs written by Ian Anderson. I don't think this disc has ever been played. Wonderful collector's item. So that about wraps it up. Oh, there is one more thing to show you. This is going to involve me pulling up a background. I call this my travel wall. So one of my overhead compartments where I store things, what I do is anytime I go somewhere, I collect magnets. So you can see Sedona, you can see, you can see the Kiss Museum, or rather the Kiss Coffee House in Myrtle Beach at the time. I didn't go to Barcelona. I didn't go to Barcelona. My coworker Eyal went there, so he brought that. We have a little tradition where we bring each other some Chachkis. So let's see. As mentioned up top, I've been to, what the heck is it, Atlantis, Hogwarts. If you look up there, that was at Universal Studios. Museum at Bethel Woods, you see up top there. The Daytona Speedway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of your way just so you can see what's behind me. And there's my beautiful dog, Miley. Sweet collie mix that she is. Right by my elbow, you see Niagara Falls, Cape Cod, Chimney Rock, North Carolina, Las Vegas, Viva Las Vegas, Washington, D.C. over this shoulder. And then again, right there, if you look closely, you can see George Washington's house, Mount Vernon, it's called, Miami Beach, Atlantic City. In the this shoulder, in the upper corner, Mulberry Street. Some of the best pasta you ever want to buy there. Myrtle Beach Dolphin. This way, if you look really close, that's the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, Arlington, Virginia. Very solemn, great place to go visit if you're ever in DC. You check it out, but be respectful. And then next to that, you can see we were at Hoover Dam once again. So, oh, what else? Sedona, Arizona, Martha's Vineyard, the Grand Canyon, the Four Corners. I actually lied down and had a limb in each of the 4 states at the Four Corners. Last but not least, you see I have a ribbon for autism awareness. My Oddfellows, that's, we're all about helping families with children stricken with autism. So that's our creed. All right, so this was fun. Nice little trip down, not so much memory lane, but showing you, all the things that keep me going when I go into my office, having some fond memories, etc., etc. Let's see, is there anything else we missed? Yeah, I think you saw that. Boston, I've been there. Anyway, have a good night, and I will speak to you soon.